act of a desperate man. We're getting close to replacing this unit anyways, so hopefully the pin stripper won't do it in, and I hope she never watches this video. Alright, the time has come for me to get this rack off of here before I start stripping it. I've done about everything else I can do. And Jester JSTER 1963 on YouTube restoring a smaller lathe, and I noticed in one of his cleaning videos he had taken the rack off of it, and I assumed it might have been assembled the same way. I was concerned about these being rivets and that being a head and having to be driven off from the inside, and he said no, that's a dowel pin, and he just worked his off with a dowel pin. Well, I've driven a real thin wedge under there and tried to pick that up off the dowel pin, and I can't get it to move, and I'm worried about a gear. I'm worried about breaking it. So I've measured the hole on the other side, and it appears to be the same diameter as this. So it's a through drilled hole, and it's just simply a dowel pin. The proper way to remove this gear is to drive the dowel pin off, or drive the dowel pin through the hole. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't have enough hammer. Get more hammer. Here we go. Probably not enough. 16-ounce hammer. Should be able to drive that through. Boy, it seems awful solid. I don't like my punch. Wish I had a little larger diameter one. And then my next size up is actually too big. I think it's moving. I can see a little gap there. Not easy on the fingers. I need a shorter punch. Let me look for more tools. I came up with some options here. Those two are about the same. This drift here is tapered. It's a little bit shorter, but it should be stiffer. I don't want to accidentally end up driving on one of these teeth. Wow, that sure is on there tough. I do have some doubts about whether I'm doing this the best way or not. Try the one on the other end here. Boy, these are solid as the Rock of Gibraltar. Seems like I have an intractable problem. There's really no way for me to drive it from the inside unless I were to build a some kind of screw jack press or something. Not sure what to do. It's not all flat, so it's not like I can set up a socket and a C-clamp to drive it out. I don't know, I'm going to have to think about this. I don't want to break something. And one brainstorm I have is to drill a hole in the casting here so I can get a tool in from the other side. The dowel pin does not extend all the way into the hole. It's drilled for it here. Let me find it. Right there. It doesn't extend all the way to the base of the hole. Yeah. Boy, see how little room there is there. It's right there. I've decided to use the drilling method. It's possible that this hole may be drilled through this plate, but it may be an interference with the inner part of the bedways, and that may be why I can't drive it out. So before I break something, I'm going to just go ahead and drill it. Now I notice that the top of the hole to the top of the bed is about 450. And I'm going to measure carefully the diameter of the hole, which, as I remember, was about 170 some. .174. So half of 174 is, let's see, 65. I'm sorry, half of 160 would be 80, plus half of 14 would be 7, so 87 thousandths. So I'm going to go to 450 plus 87, so that would be another 37 on 500, so it would be 537. Now the reason I'm going to put this hole in a very precise location is I may need to thread it and make a press to press the pin out. I doubt that. I think I'll just be able to drive it out with a pin. But I might as well do a workmanlike, take a workmanlike approach to locating it in the right location. So now I can take the tip of my tool here. I'm at 537. 538, and make a scribe mark. Okay, so now I know where the hole is at this dimension. We'll do this on the other end too, as well. It's probably better language. Okay, so I've got the scribe in both locations. Now I need to measure the distance in. And I can do that with my tool here. I'm going to come off of this edge, and I'll make sure there's no paint or anything I'm measuring against. I'm just going to measure to the hole, then I'm going to add half the diameter of the hole. So I got 3 inches, 649. Let me take another measurement. Three inches, 646. Three inches, 648. So we're going to take about 3 inches, 647 to be the mean. And remember, we're adding 87 thousandths to that. So 647 plus 87 would be 720, 734. So that hole's at 3 inches, 734. So I'm going to run that up. 734. So that's the center of the hole. I'm going to assume that this casting is the same on this side. Okay. So now you can see I have a crosshair right here. Do the other end, same manner. I think you'll be able to see the general principle of what I'm doing. If I take the caliper all the way out, it doesn't quite reach to the hole, which is about right here. A little closer. I don't know if you can see the hole, but it's right here in the shadow. I'm going to leave that tool there right at the edge of it. My caliper won't reach all the way, so I need to think of a way to do this. So what I'm going to do is it's about 3 inches. I wish I had about 3 more inches. If I had a 9-inch caliper, I don't know if they make them that big or not. Okay, there. I've got the caliper set to 3 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off the casting and put a little mark here at 3 inches. And then I'm going to measure carefully from there to the hole. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. Okay. So now we're going to measure from our mark to the hole. And we're going to set that in the edge of the hole. Make sure there's no dirt in there. I'm going to back this out. Get it right on the edge of that scribe mark. Okay. So that's 4 inches. 4 inches 308. So now I'm going to pick up this scribe mark that I made on top. And make a scribe mark there. So I should have, oh, I did that wrong. I got to add half the diameter of the hole. So I got to add, let's see, it was 87. So we're at 308. That means we need to be 380, 395. Got our tool at 395. We'll do this again. Okay, so now I got a scribe mark in the center of the hole. Okay. And remember, we were at 450 plus 87 to get, oh, we already have this, that's right, we already have this mark because I already made it. And yes, I can see it. So now I have my crosshairs of where to drill. And I hope you understood how I arrived at that. Just trying to use workmanlike procedures here. Alright, so let me get this set. Well, okay, so now the trick is, how do I drill a vertical hole? I don't want to go in like this or this or this. I really prefer a perfectly vertical hole. I don't know that this surface could have a taper to it because this was cast. Perhaps I should measure the end of it here. It's got paint all over it. Not sure how much I can tell. Okay, so that's about 4,372. No, it's the same. There's no taper. Now this would be very difficult to rig up in my drill press. I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to do that. If I had a magnetic drill that could sit on here, that would be nice. I don't have that. Let me give this problem some thought.